So before I begin, I am Raja. I've been with Manage Engine for 15 years. In this session, we're going to discuss about how do we secure, manage, and of course, enable the modern workplace. Workspace, however you want to term it as. Okay, here we begin. When I was supposed to create a presentation and people told me, no, please, don't go technical. Don't talk to them about products. When I say products, not in detail about dashboards, not in details about logs. All right, let's keep it simple. Let's keep it light. So we are talking about workspace. What do you think is a workspace? I just went back to Google to figure out how the workspace was defined before 20 years, just before a couple of decades. We've been in IT for 10 years or more, most of us, right? 10 years and more. How many of you out of this lot can claim, I am cyber ready? I know everything in IT. It's not 10 years, it's not 20 years, not even 100 years, correct? Because the technology keeps evolving. The threat and the landscapes keep changing, right? So with that in mind, the workplace that we could imagine about in 2020, this is exactly what we considered as a workplace. But now, what is a workplace? Anywhere? Everywhere? Isn't it? I could see most of you right here attending the presentation. You don't just stop with the presentation. You go back answering your emails. And the presenter is asking you some question. You say, hey man, one sec. I've got a critical notification. Let me check. Then you come back. Okay, can you repeat that for me? So you work anywhere and everywhere. So how do you define workplace or workspace now? I would rather say, if you don't have a proper floor plan for workplace. So what is workplace? Workplace is nothing more than a device these days. Don't you agree with me? Yeah? Great. So before getting into the conventional format of what workplace is and how are we going to secure it, so if you can name top three challenges when it comes to IT security, let's discuss about it in the next 30 minutes. I'm going to take the cues from you, and the next 30 minutes, I'm going to invest it right there. So top three challenges with IT security in terms of data, in terms of users, in terms of endpoints. Yes? Top three challenges. So users, then we spoke about access, we spoke about data loss. All right. Let me spin around these three topics, but I'm not going to limit myself with that. All right. So we spoke about Office, we spoke about workspace. Now it is all about convenience. But convenience at the cost of what? Convenience at the cost of risk, at the cost of security? That is the question that demands the attention right here. So no matter what, no matter wherever you are, no matter wherever you work from, whatever tools that you use, let it be on your premises, let it be somewhere on the cloud, the question is very simple, very straight. How safe are you? Practically, not every one of them have routine cyber drills. Let's assume there is a unexpected, fingers crossed, that should never happen. Unexpected alarm that's triggered in your network. Unexpected surprise that is thrown up about a cybersecurity. Maybe it's an alarm. You never know whether it is a cause of concern or it's a false alarm, right? So let's assume there's an alarm thrown up right here. How prepared are you? How cyber prepared are you to secure your data? So even for us to know how many machines are vulnerable, it takes several days. Now imagine what kind of preparedness are we talking about? We are in the age of AI. There is no doubt about it. In spite of it, we still have a lot of challenges that demands the routine attention, right? I was just talking to a few of the folks out here, even before I got up to the stage. So what were you expecting today? They said, like, come on, let's be practical. We want more real-time use cases. One classic problem we spoke about, how do you patch your machines? What kind of challenges do you have in patching? Different release cycles, end of support, PCs being turned off. So when I asked the same question, the person that I was talking to, that gentleman asked me, what are you talking about? With patching? Yes, we have a lot of problems. But what are you talking about? Patching applications? Patching drivers? Patching operating system? Because patching is not just patching. Again, you want to patch an operating system, you have a different workflow. You want to patch an application, that's a different workflow. You want to update a driver, that's a different workflow. Patching third-party apps, a different workflow, isn't it? So security, you'll have to granularly move it layer by layer. I'll definitely answer your questions talking about end-of-life applications, talking about a machine being turned off. So in the next few slides, we're going to talk and discuss about all these key challenges that we have when it comes to IT security. So what is the whole idea behind this concept? No matter where your data is, every device, every user should be secure, right? With that in place, the common challenges that we see in IT today. Let's talk about applications which are outdated, just like how we spoke. Let's talk about unwanted prompts that's being thrown up in the middle of a critical business meeting. Now imagine I'm using my computer right here. During the presentation, there is a prompt which says your machine will be restarted in the next 5 seconds. Imagine what could be the situation for me, right? So you should know what's happening on your machine. You should know when is it going to impact or affect your productivity. Let's talk about a new joiner. As always, every new joiner, the first day, what would be their first task? To figure out what is their password, to figure out how to log into the machine, isn't it? That's a common issue. And every time you want to step into a meeting, your Microsoft's tool, or not to name a vendor, but be it Teams or Zoom or any application for that matter, right? It crashes down. That's so common, isn't it? So starting from there, on a routine, we talk about system slowness, we talk about the machine being struck, sometimes remote employees looking out for help. So all of these challenges now put together, how do we handle them all? That is exactly what we're going to discuss in the next 30 minutes. So what do we do? Manage Engine, we offer a solution. We have a platform, and that platform is going to help you manage everything. When I say everything, you cannot imagine about cybersecurity. You cannot imagine about ransomware or malware attacks if you eliminate data from business. Don't you agree with me? Every attack is obviously targeted at data and the devices. With that being said, we manage everything. When I say everything, every type of device, any form of device, be it virtual machines, point of sale devices, thin clients, servers, desktops, laptops, mobile devices, IoT of devices, all the type of devices. And talking about the operating system, we take care of Windows, Mac, Linux, of course, not to miss out on third party. Then coming back to Android, iOS devices, Samsung, all of these taken care of using a single platform, single product, single console. So that is exactly what we claim here as manage everything. Now moving on to empower everyone. Different types of users. One solution might not be the best fit, might not be the tailor-fit solution for all the streams, all the departments, right? But here we talk about your key decision makers. Let's talk about your CFOs who wanted to know what kind of fund is invested. They purchase licenses for 100 employees, and they don't know if all the 100 licenses are being utilized efficiently, right? Right from your budgeting, right from the applications, the paid licenses being utilized, right from your IT security team, IT audit team. Talk about your SOC team. Talk about your top-level management who just needs visibility. Then comes the final end users, be it your IT folks. So it is one application, but different dashboards, different level of access, different level of permissions and privileges, hundreds of pre-built reports, which will give them the clarity that they are looking out for. So empower everyone, not just your IT, even your employees. Not just your IT, even your employees, which means your employee, they'll use their device just to focus on productivity. They'll not be concerned about how efficient the device is, how good the device is, right? We call it as digital employees, digital experience. It is called as DEX, digital experience of an employee. We also rate them. Let's talk about a salesperson. A salesperson is super busy in the last week of every month, making a lot of phone calls, shooting out a lot of emails, closing up a lot of deals. Then we go down and track the behavioral analysis of that particular employee during that particular time of the month. Just like how Vivian said, we don't have tools just to say what they do. We go beyond. We go beyond. We understand the usage metrics, the behavioral metrics, right? So we go one step further, trying to understand when and how a user behaves on a machine. So every sales folk, now let's make sure that the machines are restarted, the temporary files are cleaned up. Do they have sufficient memory? Is there a possibility for the machine to crash? So all of these can be preset with some automated workflows, which means last week of a month, your salesperson is never going to come back to your IT complaining that his machine is slow. Last week of your month, your salesperson is not going to come back to your IT saying, my application went down. So behavioral analysis, end user experience management, all of these for every stream. As I said, not just for your IT, even for your employees. And then finally, secure everywhere. So why do we claim everywhere? We spoke about workplace and workspace. Where is workplace right now? Workplace is everywhere that we carry our devices along. So with that being said, we secure work from home users, we secure devices, right? At our corporate perimeter, we have a firewall, a corporate perimeter, a traditional office, absolutely taken care of. Let's talk about certain demilitarized zones. Don't worry, it's completely under control. Let's talk about users who rarely go to office. People like us, we keep hopping station to station, visiting people, visiting stages and crowd like you, the real folks who use the product. So roaming users, we take care of every type of office or even frontline workers for that matter. So is this clear enough? Okay. So what do? We take care of everything right from day 0 to the day of retirement. When I say retirement, the device retirement. So I'm going to stop right here with a conventional presentation and just give you a glimpse on what we do as a product. So this was something that you were expecting for. With that said, this is the product. This is the product called Endpoint Central. So right at the dashboard, you can have a very clear overview, the kind of visibility that any IT would love to have about the total number of devices in your network. When I talk about devices, based on operating systems, based on licensed applications, based on the score in terms of security and compliance, based on the health of that particular endpoint, all of these on the first glance, right? So what do we do with this tool? This tool can replace a dozen of tools. So on an average, how many tools do you think an IT team uses? On an average, an IT team across the globe uses close to 25 tools just for the basic endpoint management and security. Now imagine having 20 tools in place, 20 tools with 20 different databases, 20 different backup servers. Imagine the cost that you put in for your maintenance, for your BCP in place. Let's talk about IT infrastructure. Above all, even if you have 20 wonderful tools, tailor-made for, best-in-breed tools, now imagine what kind of visibility you will have. 20 agents running on every machine. 20 different agents running on every machine. Where do you think your employees are going to work, right? And having 20 different reports with your IT and your SOC team. You need to have the 21st tool to consolidate all the data to figure out the blind spots. Don't you agree with me? Yeah? So having one tool in place, what do? We take care of everything, 360 degree of endpoint management. When I say 360 degree, right from onboarding a user, right from deploying an operating system. So with a tool like Endpoint Central, you'll have lot of ready-made reports where you get to know where do we stand, how many machines are ready. Let's talk about Windows 11 update. I can just simply run a query here. You will have the number of machines which are in need for Windows 11 update. It will also throw up a report saying, come on, these are the machines. Though they are not ready, you might have to do these operations. These machines fail the compatibility check, and this is how you'll have to upgrade to Windows 11, right? So right from operating system, Now let's talk about drop shipping a device to an end user. Most of the organizations today, most of the business today encourage remote work, isn't it? There are employees whom we hire. We don't even see them face to face. We just ship the device to their doorstep. So how difficult is it for us to configure such devices? Let me rephrase my question. Let's assume there is a new employee joining your organization. How many hours do you think your IT team is going to sit with them to get the basic device set for them? You ask. It depends on the department. It depends on the role that they are put into, the type of applications, the type of security, compliance which needs to be imposed. Correct? Perfect. Now imagine if all of those can be automated and the device can be drop shipped. All of these being automated. Let's talk about a Mac machine. We have integration with Apple's ABM. We pre-bundle all the requirements based on departments, based on roles, and then we simply drop ship the device. So the moment the user is going to unlock his Mac, the user is going to unlock his tablet or iPhone, he turn it on, he or she turns it on, everything is going to be preset for them. Right from the applications, let it be a sales guy or a marketing folk or somebody from the HR, somebody from the research, all the required applications put into place, all the kind of restrictions and privilege imposed on the device. The best part is, even if the user is going to do a kind of factory reset, is going to flush the device and restart it, the machine will still be managed. The machine will still be managed using our product. So this is how we start right from, this is why I claim 360 degree of endpoint management, right from deploying an operating system. Then comes your routine activity. The biggest challenge that people talk about, the biggest challenge that we spoke about, threat detection and remediation. We spoke about patching, right? One of the gentlemen said, yes, patching is very difficult. Why is it so? Because the users turn off their laptops. Because we got a lot of updates. Certain patches for an outdated application, end of support application, right? Certain patches for an in-house application. We create our own application, in-house application, and we distribute it to hundreds of thousands of users. And now we need to go back and then update all those applications. Imagine the kind of pain that we have. With Mana Engine's Endpoint Central, with Mana Engine solution, the patching process is going to be seamless. Right from scanning your network, identifying the missing patch, downloading them, testing it in your own environment, then automatic approval, customize your deployment, tailor fit your deployment. Let's talk about deploying patches after your patch Tuesday. Let's deploy patches only during the weekends. Let's deploy patches only during the non-business hours. You can tailor make all your requirement. The best part is, even if a machine is turned off, you can still boot the machine, run some scripts. When you talk about patches, it is not just the OS patches that I'm talking about. You want to update your drivers? Yes, you can do that. Update your third-party applications? Yes, you can do that. Let's talk about updating your browser. Your browser is not something that you can patch easily. All your users always leave your browsers open, isn't it? Your browser needs to be closed even before you want to push a patch. Let's talk about Java. Any Java application or any application that's fueled by Java. So all of these can be so well customized that your patching is entirely taken care of for Windows, Mac, Linux, and third party. The best part is, all of these, you're going to configure it just once. You're just going to configure it just once. And the entire process of detecting the missing patches, downloading them, testing it, and then pushing it back to the machine, all of these will be seamless without the user's intervention. So when I talk about user's intervention, without disturbing the user's experience, without having the user click or approve any button, you can have all of these automated on the console. Just to give you a glimpse on the vulnerabilities for which we have got fixes in place. Certain vulnerabilities, we might not have a proper fix, but we give you some kind of remediation process. We give you certain workarounds. Just clicking on it, you can see what kind of misconfigurations they are. what kind of applications, what should be the remediation, what should be the script which should be imposed, and how can we mitigate it for the time being, right? So not just patching when it comes to vulnerabilities, there could be security misconfigurations. There could be one machine in your network with read and write access and a folder which has got access and permission for everyone, which is highly sensitive, isn't it? So anything and everything is taken care of with your threat detection and remediation program. So we spoke about patching. I'm just giving you a glance. You can look at it, test and approval. You can create your own test group. You can create your own environment, create a separate desk group for your servers. Then say, no, this is for Mac. This is for Ubuntu machines. CentOS. Let's create separate groups. And there you see how it works. Based on the performance, the approval can be either automated or you can manually approve it. Not just that, you have wonderful deployment policies. When I say deployment policy, I'll just give you a glimpse on what a deployment policy does. When do you want the deployment to happen? Do you want it to happen during the first week and the last week? Let's go ahead and select it. Which days of the week? You want to do it only on the weekends? Let's select only the weekends. The time interval, when should that happen? Everything can be customized. So I'm not going to give you a detailed product walkthrough here, but these glimpses, I'm sure you can understand and relate. Every pain point of yours, we listen to customers and we customize our product to meet your requirements, right? So not just that, you can also have after your deployment is done, what should you do? You want to go for a reboot or shutdown, or you want to execute some scripts? You can completely customize it. Now talking about automatic restart, you want to exclude your servers from getting automatically restarted? Yes, you can exclude your servers as well. If there are business sensitive servers, with Manage Engine, we offer self-service portal even for patch management. There could be a lot of vendors who does patching for workstations. We take care of patching servers, drivers, applications. The best part, let's talk about a critical machine, which is in a hospital, which is in the operation theater. Now imagine your IT is going to roll out all the patches for everybody. And after the patch is getting deployed, the machine needs a restart. Do you think you can afford that in a healthcare industry? No. So such critical operations, you can actually have all your patches pushed into a self-service portal. You can allow your IT team to, empower the users, check on their availability, and then click and install the updates as and when they are available. And of course, that again, you can give them some guideline. Beyond a point in time, you can force enable the deployment to happen, right? So we spoke about 360-degree of endpoint management. We spoke about onboarding devices, OS deployment. We spoke about drop shipping devices. Let it be from mobile phone or to laptop or to desktop. You're going to have all of these automatically pushed. We spoke about threat detection. Now let's move on to software and application management. So talking about software and application management. So what do we do here? We take care of deploying applications across various operating systems. Not just applications. When I say that, you can tailor-make, you can tailor-fit your requirement. Now let's talk about applications which are licensed. Create a self-service catalog, push it across various departments. So based on the user's need, we're going to eliminate the wait time. Let's assume one of your employee needs an application. What happens on our routine? They create a help desk request. Your help desk technician has to probably check his queue, then answer this ticket. Then either he will install the software himself or he'll assign it to another IT guy. Isn't it? But with our self-service portal, there's going to be a simple prompt on the end user's interface. He can click and choose whatever application he wants to install. If it's a licensed version, if it's a paid software, automatically an approval mechanism will be triggered to ITSM tool. And if your manager is going to approve it, the software will be installed on the machine. This is just about software installation on a laptop, desktop, or a server. Now imagine just comparing this to your mobile phones. You have a self-service catalog on your mobile phone as well. So every user on your managed device, you will have a self-service catalog, a simple catalog on a mobile device as well. So let us assume There are certain applications which should be forced on the device. You can push them without the user's intervention, without giving them a choice. You can lock down the device to one single app or a couple of applications. Now imagine you're giving your device to contract employees. You're giving your devices to drivers. So you don't want your device or the user to meddle out with all the applications on the device, right? So under such circumstances, you can customize your security policies and configurations in such a way, which means the device is restricted to one or two applications. So we spoke about application. Now let's talk about application control. You can allow users, you can empower users to install all the applications, or you can restrict the usage of all the applications and just give a dozen of applications which they are allowed to use. Either you choose to allow list or block list applications, right? So all of these can be customized when it comes to software and application deployment and application control. On an average, a normal user installs around 100 applications on his mobile. Now imagine it's a techie user, is a power user. A power user installs close to 200 applications on his mobile. Now imagine related with your desktops, easily 40 to 50 applications for a normal user. A power user, it goes up to 80 applications, right? I'm not talking about developers. That's a different league, right? We're not talking about developers. No, let them probably stay away. We're talking about regular power users, right? So with the number of applications put in, how often do we even go back and validate how many of those applications are up to date? How often do we even realize what kind of permissions and privilege do we allow on a particular application? We just install a small application on a mobile phone, and the mobile application asks permission for your contacts, for your photos, for your folders, isn't it? Am I correct? So having access to your photos, most of us, I do, and I believe most of us do. We have all the soft copy of our passport, of our driving license, all the sensitive data as a soft copy somewhere stored in your mobile, don't we? Now, any third-party application that we allow on your mobile phone or be it on your laptop is gaining access to all the critical data on the machine. Let's talk about a simple use case. We don't even consider browsers to be a major threat. How many times have you realized I use a lot of plugins on my browsers? Not just me. Just for the basic spell check or just to rephrase our content better. But how often do you realize every business sensitive email that is drafted on that particular endpoint, somebody else is listening to it. Somebody else is viewing the content. Isn't it? Right? So what kind of security threats creep in? How do we secure them? So that's the point that demands discussion right here. So we spoke about threat and vulnerability management. We spoke about software and application control. Then moving out to browsers. How do we secure your browsers? You'll have to know what are the extensions that are available. How many extensions are approved? What permissions and what privileges do they consume? Right? People say keylogger. Yes, I use keylogger to automate a lot of my process. How many of you out here have used keyloggers? If you talk to your dev team, if you talk to somebody from the development, all they do is very simple. They say, you know what? Automation, it's super expensive. There's a very simple process called keylogging. What does it do? The plugin. They'll just install that plugin. It will monitor whatever activity that you perform on the machine, and it will replicate it n number of times. You'll have to understand every little operation performed on your machine is being monitored, is being scrutinized, and that is being repeated as well. Right? So with such applications in place, how do we find ourselves secure? How do we find our data secure? So securing browsers, trying to see how compliant they are in terms of compliance, in terms of add-ons, it's very crucial. And one of the gentlemen out there spoke about data leak, right? Data leak. So now here we have policies where we talk about creating a clear classification on what is sensitive data. Now let's imagine right here, I'm going to create a policy for the United States. So the moment I say United States, here we go. It's United Arabian Emirates. Okay. So I'm just going to click configure what is sensitive data here. So by selecting the country, by selecting the region, I'll be able to figure out what data is crucial for me. Is it related to personal information? Is it related to social security number? Is it related to banking information? Is it your driving license? I can pick and choose whatever is sensitive. And then once I create my policy right here and deploy it for all the employees, these critical informations will ensure even if the end user is going to take a snapshot and push it out through email, he's trying to print this information, all of these can be restricted. So data leak prevention in any form, you can restrict users even from getting a snapshot or a screenshot, from taking a printout, from sending out attachments, from sending out emails. Not just that, your external storage devices, talk about your USB device, talk about your external storage, everything can be secured. So that's about data leak prevention, right? So now coming back to your presentation, we spoke about securing your devices right from zero to the day of retirement. We spoke about workplace delivered. So employees have instant access to all the tools to increase their productivity. We spoke about drop shipping devices, pre-built with ABM, Apple's ABM, zero-touch deployment, wireless deployment. Let's talk about Windows. Let's talk about Apple, any OS for that matter, right? Then giving them all predefined configurations, security defined in place, and then comes your productivity in focus without compromising on security, right? We spoke about browser security. We spoke about BitLocker encryption and certain security configurations. We also discussed about the limitations and the privileges that we want to play with applications, be it on your desktops, laptops, servers, or your mobile phones. Conditional access, which talks about who has access to which tools. Automatic updates, when it comes to automated patch, update management, and then putting them all into a single console as unified management. So this is exactly what we do, no matter wherever the device is. The device could be on transit, which is the workplace can be on transit. It could be anywhere in any part of the globe. It could be anywhere on the streets, be it in form of frontline workers, be it in form of employees who are always on the go. The best part, all of these are completely automated. Even troubleshooting them, accessing them is going to be so seamless. Let's assume one of your employees is going to call right now. I'm going to call my IT right now and say, my machine is down. They can simply establish a remote connection, not just for my laptop or desktop, even for my mobile phone. So they can take a remote connection of my mobile phone from anywhere and they can instantly troubleshoot it and fix it out for me. The best part, now imagine I am the IT guy. I can just pull out my mobile phone. I have a mobile app on it. Using my mobile phone, I can access any server which needs to be troubleshooted. It works vice versa. It works both ways, right? Using the mobile app, I'll be able to troubleshoot any machine, anywhere, and then fix it out. So we spoke about empowering employees with end user experience management. You're going to see users are not going to complain about the devices. Rather, they're going to focus on work and productivity. So this is exactly what I have for you with the limited time. I would love to talk more about your IT challenges and give you a lot of suggestions when it comes to specific industry needs. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you all.